match point. 5 teams with a chance to become the champions here at Apex Legends at Esports World Cup. But there is still teams chasing. Alliance 1 point away, FaZe 3 points away, Elevate Bleed 6 points away. If we don't get it done here, 3 more teams could be joining match point.
And one team, of course, who did join match point with a chance to win it is the EMEA team, who have come into this event and into this season and surprised so many with the consistency of their performances. It's going to be Gaming Gladiator, the team that's on your screen right now. And let me tell you, the Lava Siphon drop for them is going to be a good one, because we are heading down to Tree.
Oh, wow, yeah, this is coming all the way down to the bottom of the map. Tree and Guild Esports are going to lap this one up. And when you look at teams that could potentially win and change things and take us to another match, Guild Esports have a good opportunity here dropping at Tree.
They certainly do. One thing I will say is, like, there's a cruelness about this zone as well. Alliance, who finished 1 single solitary point short of match point in that previous game. 1 kill, 1 placement. They didn't, who cares how they got it? They didn't get it. And now they have great prio to this zone. So that's one that's going to sting for them. If they were on match point and they saw that zone pop up, they would be celebrating and jumping up and down, maybe not in their seats, but certainly in between the ears.
I'm not sure there's a ring console for Alliance, though. It looks like 2 survey beacons they've got access to down at Thermal Station. Guild Esports, though, at Tree should have that information and should be able to play for a priority position. ExoClan from Harvesters are moving very fast, and you've also got to remember, Team Liquid down at launch site have the chance to move very quickly to this zone if they have a ring console. You can see a survey beacon near, but remember, it was down at Dome last time. It doesn't look like there's a ring console available for Liquid here.
Yeah, we'll have to double check that. They did actually have a ring console down at Dome, so that information would have been collected, or should have been collected, but by the looks of things, they might not have hit it. So we'll have to wait and see what the play actually is coming in from Team Liquid. A very interesting one,
right? You need to get blue first, right? Aguirres has to get blue on fuse before you can even hit that, so there's not a chance for them to hit the ring console, but they are moving in the right direction regardless, and this is still where initial zone knowledge can come into play here. Some of these IGLs know exactly where this zone is pulling, sometimes just with a little bit of information.
Well, it looks like they know where the zone is going, and it looks like Team Liquid have a great spot to play. Now, pros and cons of this. Great rotation. This is where the end zone is going to be pulling, but they do have those white armors, which makes this very difficult to hold down for the long game. So they're going to have to output some damage. There's no Evo harvesters around them, and they're certainly not going to be able to leave and go and get some due to the fact that there's so many teams already taking residence in and around Tree. ExoClan you saw on your screens right now, but moving away from where that zone is going to be ending and heading over to Geyser, because there's an interesting build-up of teams here. We've got Icholos, Laser, and LGD Gaming having a little bit of an engagement here, a little bit of a poke at each other.
Yeah, and there's also potential as well for GHS to get involved and Elevate Bleed, because they're all going to be rotating on that eastern side. And once you hear that damage, there is potential for kills as well. And, you know, kills means points, and points is what a lot of these squads need if they want to be getting up to match point. One thing I will say for some of the teams that are rotating late and on edge that are already on match point, you are going to have a major shield advantage going into this late circle. Because we've seen so many teams move early here, there's going to be a lot of grays, a lot of blues you're going up against.
I just want to quickly reiterate, if you're just joining us right now and you're wondering where we are in the tournament, the teams that are on match point, which would mean if they win this game, they will be crowned your tournament champions. We are looking at Team Liquid, Mizuchi, Aurora, Gaming Gladiators, and Team Falcons as the teams who have crossed the 60-point threshold, and if they win this next game, will be crowned your champion.
It sounds easy, right? But that's the thing with the match point format. All it takes is one of those teams outside of the top 5 to just finally find their form, finally find that victory, and then we end up going into a match 10. Now, historically, we do tend to end around the 7 to 9 mark. It's rare we get further than that. But if you go historically further back into Apex Legends, it does get a little bit dicey with how far you can go in these games.
We've got to remember as well, this team's chasing down match point as well. GHS, one of those teams, quite off the pace at the moment and already lost 1 player. It was Elevate Bleed who did get that kill and managed to convert it as well. So that's going to be a point to them, and they are closing in on 60 points themselves. Elsewhere, the team who could close it out right here, right now with a win is going to be Aurora. It was fascinating to watch them in that last game, as they were one of the teams that just seemed to fall after another patch point team went down, and then another. But this has been a great return to form for them here in Riyadh.
I think that both Aurora and Falcons have a real chance here with their rotations and with their pathing to be able to gain a big shield advantage and have a real stab at some of these teams that are going to be holding some of the priority positions. You've just got to be brave, and I think that when you're on match point, sometimes you don't take that risk. Sometimes you're not going to be trying to take a position off of someone because you're scared of giving up the spot that maybe you've had gained earlier because of that match point situation.
Well, it looks like an evac play is about to be called in here, although maybe it's just a little bit of a change of plan, as Zero will say to Hal, put that thing away. And it's going to be a foot race, essentially, through the choke towards Thermal Station, where they will continue on their path. Back to where we believe this game is going to be ending, over by Tree. You can see the team starting to stack up already. LG in that top building. You've got Alliance who are playing the choke and playing the train station actually the other side of the building. You've got DMS inside a zone as well. We saw Team Liquid earlier, what they were doing, and Alliance. I mean, you've got to feel for them a little bit here. Being so close yet so far away has been the story. We said this right at the start of things. It's they watch other teams get to match point, and by the time that they hit it, the tournament ends. Is it going to be the same situation again for Alliance? Is there going to be another tournament that's just a disappointment?
Well, if Alliance want to have a stab at winning this entire thing, they'll have to win this map. At least that's how they'll feel, to deny one of those 5 teams that are on match point. By the way, outside of maybe Team Falcons, who are about to cross into the zone, there are only 3 or 4 other teams that are not within this next circle. And that's how compacted it is, really, down at Tree. And the zone is going to continue to pull down towards Tree. There's not going to be any sort of crazy shift north, so everyone who committed down to that south side will be rewarded for committing early. But then it's about the zone 4 shift for me. That's when you're going to see the biggest difference as we see our first team eliminated, and it's going to be Blacklist International taken down by FaZe Clan, who will find themselves now on 60 points. They will cross that match point threshold, but remember, if they win here, they will not win the tournament. They have to go into the next match to be able to get it done.
However, Team Liquid will win the tournament if they win here, so congratulations to FaZe. They have essentially done their job of getting themselves into a position now where, obviously, if they can stop the other teams who are on match point winning, they can have a shot at winning this tournament themselves. And a huge amount of prize money, of course, $600,000 is going to go to that team who takes home first place. First in points at the moment, but essentially tied for opportunity is the team on our screen right now, traveling all the way from Trials and Sky West towards where they find themselves right now. Well, of course, talking about Team Falcons, everybody alive at the moment. And they're about to potentially engage here with EXL.
As soon as one fight breaks out within this zone, there's going to be a lot of teams adding to that damage as well, looking to try and maybe capture some of those points that are available that wouldn't typically be without those fights already happening. For Mizuchi, they're on the southeast side, and they do have to walk into this zone. They're not safe in this building. And I'm wondering if they're even going to be safe further into that terrain ahead of them as well. There's not much cover. They might have to look to try and take the RV. But for now, they can wait and see where this zone goes a little bit and see if anyone plays for anything aggressively around them.
It's a really interesting zone, actually. Just looking at our map overhead here, and there is so many teams already inside a Tree who have taken up all the real estate, all the buildings, playable spaces at a premium at the moment. And if you are the likes of Aurora, Falcons, who are arriving late, who are on match point at the moment, getting into this zone is going to be so tough, let alone going on to win this game. So keep that in mind. If they manage to pull off something miraculous here, it would be a win that certainly was earned.
Well, what Falcons have done is been able to manipulate the map in a way where they've been able to dodge about 3 or 4 teams who were on the north and actually take a place on the northeast side of the zone. As we get a pause just to sort out any potential technical difficulty for any of these players. And that does mean that, you know, everyone gets a little breather here. Remember, only one team has been eliminated so far. That's Blacklist International. Aside from that, a full lobby, full squads, 57 players, 19 teams, and the majority of them are already in Tree.
Yeah, make sure that we don't give away too many positions and what teams are where at the moment, just in case, like you said. I like how you phrased it earlier. One of the headphones has just slipped off an ear inside the arena. Oops. Happens.
Look, Jumbo's fiddling.
Yeah. Not going to happen, Jen. Falcons fans out in force today in the finals as well, supporting their boys. But I always find it funny, like match point it's such a wonderful format because of the unpredictability of it, right? You have to work so hard to win a tournament, but most importantly, you have to win a game of Apex Legends, which is what the game is built upon. But we came out of the booth early and we were like, we thought we were done. You know, it was jackets off, we sat down, we were like, listening to Vicky and Genome, and we expected the games to be done and dusted, but I think it shows the quality of the lobby. Even when we have multiple teams sat up on match point, getting that win is so tough, and it almost feels like you're going to look back on moments where, was it the Kraber shot that didn't connect that cost Falcons that game? Because if the Kraber shot does connect, one of those bullets, they kill Alliance, they have a walk-in, they still have that Kraber. Maybe it's their tournament, but maybe it's ifs and buts. They don't win you tournaments. It's about getting the job done, and those opportunities don't come along too often.
Certainly when you look through the group stage results, Falcons were incredible at finding wins, but it's a very different lobby in the group stage. There's a few teams that may be looking a little bit lackluster. Here in the finals, every fight you have to work extremely hard for. Nothing is given to you in this lobby.
Well, the game is back underway here. The pause is going to be unpaused. And I just want to give a quick mention to Lufka, by the way. He was part of course, the team who were on the receiving end of the famous howl coming down from the heavens as they crept up to try and win a LAN themselves, and they find themselves on match point. So this is a chance maybe for redemption for Lufka.
I'm sure all three of those players who were on the receiving end of it have been thinking about it. Maybe some sleepless nights, even now.
I can only apologize.
A moment in history, but for the wrong reason, sadly. Now, Aurora continuing to just try and find a space to play right now. There's a lot of rock formations they can use as cover for now. It's about where they go from here. And we're about to get some more zone information that will give us a big indication of how this final circle is going to look. And it's going to pull slightly away from Tree, back up to the north side, which is good news for a lot of the late movers like Aurora, because when you do arrive, at least there is less teams to try and break through to get into that zone.
Well, here's a stat for you, right? To give you an overlay right now, we saw a few moments ago so many teams who were on match point. Some were inside the zone, some were outside of the zone. Right now, as it stands, there are 0 of our match point teams inside of where that zone is going to be pulling. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of time left for them to make that rotate and fight their way through it, but I think it just shows that everybody's going to have to work extremely hard as Aurora now make their play. This is a little bit of a Hail Mary because they don't have too much info on where the playable spaces are going to be.
Where do you go here
for the RV? Is it going to be free?
You hope for something and you
free.
Find an RV to work with, but now this is where the nades come in. And this is where lack of a Watson can hurt, because you can get peppered if you're not careful. But it looks like they've been able to stabilize. No one is going to overcommit to grenades right now, and Aurora have been allowed free entry into the zone here.
Aurora with good armors to work with as well. So you mentioned quite rightly, no Watson in the composition is going to make it difficult to hold down the RV, but having a huge amount of Evo on those armors is going to mean they can soak up just a little bit more damage. Mizuchi now making their approach to Tree from launch site. The team in front of them that's holding them out, another match point team. It's going to be Team Liquid.
Chance to hit some shots for Yanya and Team Liquid, who have looked incredible today. Remember, if you go down at this point with 5 teams on match point, you'd assume surely someone else is going to get the job done. You cannot afford to fall early here. And that's why Liquid just backing off slightly. They don't want to overcommit to this. Unless you get any real damage, you're very reluctant to commit to a fight.
Liquid are currently holding the entirety of that building structure, by the way, so I think the Mizuchi want to try and force them away. There's a big damage, flesh damage as well, and Waltzy almost gets the pick with that Hemlock. Sweet in the kill feed as well, he's taking down Hackis. And I have not seen Alliance manage to convert 1 point to get onto match point yet. Now they do get it by the looks of things. Alliance, thanks to the kill and the finish from Effect, will hit 60 points and will be up to match point, even though they have just been eliminated.
Alliance just scrape over the threshold. Dragons Esports just been eliminated as well. So now 19 squads down to 17 as things start to pick up here. The action's starting to get a bit faster, and FaZe Clan also eliminated. But remember, they hit match point as well. They just need to hope they will get a chance to play for it in match 10.
Luminosity Gaming also will fall down 5 squads now in this lobby. Gaming Gladiators playing up on this high ground. Will have to, of course, drop down at some point to get a little bit closer to that zone. But speaking of which, it's Aurora who are making a play from the RV up onto the tracks thanks to the zipline from the Pathfinder, and they're getting knocks, they're getting kills, they want to take a command in space.
Finally, we're at the conclusion of this fight as well. It's Liquid with the damage, and it's going to be Mizuchi on the receiving end of it, and Liquid should and will take down Mizuchi. That's one of our match point teams falling, but at the hands of another.
Team Liquid with a huge win on the southern side of this zone, eliminating a fellow match point team. Back to Aurora then. And as you can see, they're not going to be safe where they are when that zone closes. However, they have such a good vantage point to clear out one of the sides of the zones. All red Evos as well. Aurora are looking dangerous here.
Can Aurora be the first EMEA team to lift a trophy at LAN in Apex Legends? Certainly looking to do a lot of damage to SSG, who are in the RV they previously occupied here.
Well, the damage wasn't big enough for them to play off of. You can see Twisted Minds just lost a player thanks to a knock in the kill feed as well. Falcons and Aurora all of a sudden a little bit closer together than we thought they would be a few moments ago. And look at the space now that Team Falcons have. Everybody who was in tree is now in front of Team Falcons. If they can clear a couple of teams just around them, then they might have an opportunity here to have the rest of the lobby in front of them.
Well, Aurora, it's gone from bad to worse because they've lost 2 and it could be the 3rd here. Another match point team potentially going down.
Kazak's got a clutch here. Kazak, the new pickup, barely any HP to work with. The Doc Drone goes out and he's going to pop a shield barrier. Fnatic doing a little bit of damage here as well. But he is going to be the solo player here for Aurora, and it looks like we might have another match point team falling. Aurora will be eliminated. Twisted Minds eliminated now. It's GG, Team Liquid, and Falcons who can get it done now.
Falcons are under duress, though. There's a lot of pushing coming out of the opposition team here, but great damage from Jeff Burton. But it is replicated here as Hal tries to follow up.
Hal's hot, following up though, and Hal will get the final kill. SSG. They'll be eliminated in the meantime as Hal steps forward. Each Cholos later will go down and Falcons keep their dream alive.
Falcons can reset. Fnatic are not pushing them, so they will still hold the northeast side there. Elsewhere, Elevate Bleed also go down here as GG have lost 2. It's another match point team who are looking like their backs are against the wall.
Well, Light's inside his zone here, but he has no friends to help him along the way. It would have to be a monster solo performance for GG to call themselves champions here. Elsewhere, inside a zone, ExoClan still find themselves there. Team Liquid down to 2 as they've lost Jaguares on the rotate here. Nirzo and Yanya, it's up to you.
Worth noting, the only healthy team are Team Falcons right now. They're on match point. They have the chance to win. Let's jump into a listen-in with Falcons.
It's not in zone.
I have ult.
Moving forward by myself.
You want to come? I'm coming.
I'm pushing with you. I have fuse on 15. But heavy. Not a bad, not a bad. Chill. I didn't say come. Okay. Dropping your red top. I'm not a bad. Can you drop me bad? Yeah, here. Finishing. Yeah, good top. One smoke. Okay. Are they getting fight right side at all? No.
They're like chilling on the rock right now.
Falcons sounded pretty calm, pretty composed, and in the meantime, the biggest takeaway, Dan, Team Liquid were eliminated as well. So now it's GG as a solo and Falcons who can win this thing.
Match 10 could be on the horizon if Falcons cannot convert this game, or if Light cannot pull off an absolute madness as a solo here for GG. In the kill feed, EXO have just lost 1 as well. 8 squads now remain. Make it 7 because GHS will fall, as do EXoClan. So it's 6 teams left. Falcon, they cross 100 points as they close in on a real opportunity to take this tournament.
Falcons won't care about how many points they have. They only care about one number, and that is first place. That is becoming a championship winning team once again. 0 with the damage. Fnatic eliminated in the meantime. We're down to 5 and 0 has to pop that back.
Who's going to be the savior for the rest of the lobby here? Who wants to step up and dare challenge a Team Falcons who look ruthless with their pushes at the moment? There is good damage coming out of DMS and LGD onto Falcons right now, and Falcons do have to go through both of them to get to this final zone.
Let us move here.
Taking gatekeeping to an all-new level. This is through the gates of hell. for Falcons, but can they make it through? And if they do, then maybe, just maybe, this could be the game for them. Zero makes the play, trying to take the high ground. Finds a team across from them, but the damage isn't huge. How's going to follow it up here? The zone will close and Falcons will be forced to move.
This team was built for a reason, and for reasons just like this, for a moment just like this. Can they actually convert this one, though? Because there is a lot of teams looking at them right now. Do the other squads have any idea of this being Falcons? That would be my question. And don't forget, there is still an individual left from Gaming Gladiators.
Zone moves. And it's time to make your move. The bang ult will go down from Zero to try and force these teams away. But Falcons, they were burning thanks to the ultimate coming in from the fuse. Now there's a bang ult for them to try and chunk as well. Zero's doing damage himself. GG are gone! GG are gone! Falcons are the last remaining match point team.
It's Falcons versus 3, but Gen falls. Hal and Zero, hand in hand. What can you do together?
It's DMS doing the damage. 4 squads remaining. Gen Burn holding that knockdown shield. Trying to do what he can to keep his team alive. They're going to try and stick the res here.
Surely
the
not.
EMP goes down.
Surely not.
Can Falcons get back to their feet? Yes, they do.
It's a second chance, a bite of the cherry here for Falcons, and they're back to a full 3, but the zone is closing here. Someone needs to shoot them, but no one is. Gen falls again.
Gen will fall. Zero will fall as well. And it's up to the CEO. A man who has pulled off so many famous rap plays in his time, and I tell you what, there might be another one here. How? Barely any armor to work with. Gonna get the shield swap, but here comes the challenge, and we will go again! We will go again here in Riyadh!
As DMS cross the match point threshold, and DMS keep us going! It's a match 10, it's another team onto match point, and this tournament will not end here and now.
DMS will claim victory.